Here's a hard truth that most people will not say out loud, but you know me, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Your backend isn't messy because it's unorganized. It's messy because you're building your business on someone else's strategy when God gave you a completely different vision. You've been trying to copy what's worked for her, like the workflows, the templates, the launch plans, the way she runs her team, maps out her calendar, hoping that it's going to click for you. But it's not clicking because it was never meant to. In today's episode, we're calling out the real reason why systems feel off when you're working your business and what it actually looks like to build a backend that works for you, not some version of success that you've honestly just outgrown. I'm going to walk you through what a supportive, scalable backend actually includes, the 4 core systems that every CEO needs to stop the chaos, and how to align your operations with the business God actually called you to build. And if you're done trying to squeeze into somebody else's structure and finally ready to lead from your own, then this is the episode for you. Welcome to Called and Convicted, the podcast for faith-led female founders building businesses with clarity and conviction. I'm your host, Whitney K., business strategist, coach, and agency owner. And around here, we don't just do trends or surface level insights, strategies, and conversations. No, we dive deep into truth, strategy, and systems that actually work. If you are done second guessing your next move, tired of trying to fit your mission into someone else's model, and ready to grow a business that reflects your values without costing your peace, you are in the right place. Each week, I am pulling back the curtain on what actually works, from smart strategy and simple systems to the mindset shifts that keep you grounded as you grow in business and life. Be sure to follow the show, though, so you never miss an episode. And if something from today hits home, share it to your stories and tag me at Hey Whitney K on Instagram or at Called and Convicted on TikTok. I cannot wait to hear what stuck with you. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. I cannot be the only one who has accessed a template, followed a model, attempted to integrate a strategy, a method, whatever it might be, from somebody else's business for my own, only to not see the same results. Now, it's not to say that the person that was sharing the template didn't do something right, or that the template wasn't working, or the method was not a good method, or the strategy was, not effective. It is not to say any of that. The problem that I'm seeing repetitively through my own trial and error and through many clients' trial and errors and just others in the industry is that somebody more likely than not will find success with something. And more often than not, let's just be honest here, it's like a one-hit wonder occasion. It's not like they're seeing that repetitive success. They see success with one thing and they're like, oh, I've got it. This is it. I've gone viral one time, just once, and now I know how to do it, right? Most of the time, these online coaches and these strategists, they're slinging things together and saying they have a full-blown strategy, a full-blown method that's going to work across the board for anybody and everybody. And it's just not the case. It sells really well. Don't get me wrong. It sells really well. And we get very attracted to that because we are results driven. We are attracted to seeing results that we do not yet have for ourselves. So we opt in, we buy in, we lean in. But the problem, again, is not necessarily the method, the strategy, the freebie, the resource, the content that's being taught, but it's the fact that we're looking at somebody else's business model and assuming that it's going to work for our own when our entire business and model should be, can be, or is completely different than said person we're trying to duplicate from. Even if you are in the same industry. I see this a lot where really with women, because we just tend to really compare ourselves, I feel, a lot more, and I could be wrong, than men. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I haven't done any studies on this, but I'm just going to go off of my own personal experience that I feel like we just compare ourselves a little bit more than men do. And with that being said, it's really easy to look at some other woman that is successful, has all the things that we want and desire in their business or their lifestyle or their family, and think, okay, if I do that same thing, I'm going to get the same results. And that's just not the case. That's not the case a majority of the time. And even though you are smart and you are capable and you are crushing it on the front end, like you're doing the content, you're having the relationships, you're doing the calls, you're doing all the things you know you need to do, what's not supporting you on the back end is the fact that it's just crazy. It's misaligned. It's not set up specifically for what it is that you're trying to offer and the type of business that you're trying to run. And the problem isn't the effort, right? It's not the effort because you're putting in the effort. It's just the misalignment. Systems are designed for somebody else. The systems you have are designed for somebody else's lifestyle and model, and that will not sustain your success in your business. So what does it look like to have a supportive backend? Well, let's talk about what it's not at first. A strong backend isn't just organized, right? It's optimized. How do you know how many women I come in contact with, not even, forget the whole women aspect of it, business owners. How many business owners I come in contact with and I'm like, oh, cool. What is your, what's your POS system, or what's your operating system what's your CRM system that you have? Like, what systems do you have in place? What platforms are you using? None. Well, I don't know. I kind of like just keep tracking, this in Google Docs, Google Excel spreadsheet, which that's fine, but let's be real, that's not fine at the same time. Depending on where you are in your business and depending on where you're wanting to scale your business, that just is not effective and efficient for scaling purposes. So we have to understand that a system has to not just be organized, it has to be optimized for our business. I want you to think, okay, I know that you're probably thinking, it's just tools. It's just tools and platforms. No, I want you to think of this. It's workflows that think for you. It's not just automations. It's intentionality and alignment. It's not just structure. It's space and time given to you so that you can breathe and grow even more. It's not just these random copy and paste systems. It's not freebie downloads that you have so many of them because you keep creating a new one because the last one wasn't working. It's not copied templates that don't match your complete business model. So what is it, Whitney? What is a backend that supports my ideas and my business model, but also doesn't drown me at the same time? Well, let's break it down, because there are 4 core systems that I believe every CEO, no matter where you are in your business, need to run their business, scale their business. And it's going to look different. It's going to look different from the moment you start to 2 years after you're in business to 4 years after you're in business, and 6 years. As you go, you are going to grow in the tools, the platforms, the workflows, the automations, the, integrations that you have in your business. And that's great. So what might start off as very basic may end up becoming very complex down the road. And that is the growing season in your business. And that's great. The first system that every CEO, I believe, needs is a client experience system. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to have some shebang wow platform for all of your clients to utilize and use, but you should have, hear me out when I say this, a clear onboarding system, a clear offboarding system, and everything in between. I want you to think the next time you are speaking with a lead, a prospect, a potential consumer, customer, client in your business, what is the process that you are taking with that person? I'm talking about writing down every little step. Is the relationship sparked by a post that you made on a social media platform? How was the relationship sparked? Was it they commented? They commented and you maybe had a mini chat automation response comment go in after that then led them to your DMs to where the conversation was had there. What questions were asked in that conversation to get the client's information? Did you retain their phone number? Did you get their email? That's very important. And with that information, what do you then next do with it? Is the goal to get them on a call? Is the goal to then give them a resource that then leads them to getting on a call? Is the goal to jump on a voice message, back and forth within the DMs? Whatever the goal is, track it. Write down exactly what you're doing. What tools can you be using to simplify this process? And what tools can you be using to document this client flow, this lead flow that you are having with people? I personally, y'all know I love and use ClickUp. That will always be, I feel I've tried to switch. I keep coming back. ClickUp is my number one. I have used platforms like Dubsado. I have used platforms like HoneyBook. All of these are great platforms. Again, you will grow as you go. Research these platforms, the tools, the functionality of them. What is going to be able to be used? What are you not going to be used as far as features? This is great for conversations with me too. This is why you want to get on a clarity call with me, because I have used so many different platforms that I'll be able to look at what's going on in your business and be like, you know what? This one might be a little bit advanced to start. I say we start here, and then when you get to point B or point C, then we can kind of merge and take things into another platform. And a lot of people will sit here and say, oh, no, you want to start on the platform that you're planning on later merging into because it's so complicated to later merge into that platform. No, it's not. No, it's not. They just don't have the I don't know, like the team in place to possibly do it, or just the know-how of how to do it a little bit easier than maybe what they've done in the past, but we'll leave it at that. But what tools can you have in place that will take the stress off of you, but help you run a smooth system in your client experience journey? I want you, again, to map the touch points that you have with your potential leads that then later lead to consumers. And then we automate where we can automate and where it can be needed. Like, what do you see yourself? Are you responding to every single comment? Like, if on your post you have, please comment the word, tool, if you would like to know more. And every single person that comments the word tool, are you going in and manually responding? I don't care if you sit here and say to me right now, well, Whitney, I don't really have many comments going on right now. I maybe get like 2 or 3 comments. Okay, I hear you. But say you're at Disney with your family for the weekend and you finally get one person that comments the word tool, but you're so busy at Disney that you don't see it for hours or maybe a couple days after they commented. You potentially lost that lead. You potentially lost that lead because their interest is no longer at its high point as far as percent of interest days later rather than what it was in the moment that they originally commented. And if you had an automation set up, it would have done the work for you. It would have responded to the comment and DM'd them touch point 2, because the comment would have been 1, touch point 2 in the DMs to then take on that conversation wherever it needed to go. So automation is key in places that you are doing things repetitively, and that can be replaced with a simple automated tool that just works for your business and whatever the situation might be. The second system that every CEO needs is a marketing funnel flow system, or marketing and funnel flow system. So again, you think of lead capture to conversion. What system What process is somebody going through? Now, you might use, again, I just mentioned ManyChat. You might use two systems here. You might use, or tools. You might use ManyChat to carry on the conversation within the DMs, and you can use only ManyChat if you want. That's fine. ManyChat has a lot of capabilities and features there, but I wouldn't say it's best for project task management, or it's not really good for a CRM. But then that leads into maybe a booking platform. You might use Calendly. You might use Reclaim.ai. You might use a bunch of different other platforms that have booking capabilities. Even Google has booking capabilities now. So then they book on a platform. Okay, but once they book or before they book, do they fill out a form? Again, that can be done in Calendly. But where does all of that information then go? Where is it stored? Because if you have all of this information stored on a bunch of different platforms and you are juggling between platform and platform rather than having one central location where all of the information can be stored, that you can get into and look at all of your leads, all of your active clients, all of your closed out clients, all the ones that are currently onboarding, all the ones that are currently active after onboarding, all the ones that are currently in offboarding stage. It's just a way to manage things easier. It sounds complicated, but what's complicated is the craziness that you're dealing with already in this current moment of how you're running your business. You might sit here and say, Whitney, it's effective. It's great. I'm good. But okay, it might be effective and it might be working for you, but how much time are you wasting? How much time are you wasting in your business right now and in your day doing things that could be automated or better streamlined for you? So I want you to think some of the tools that can go into like a marketing funnel flow would be, again, ManyChat, Flowdesk. I mentioned that's another email platform, Gmail, Mobile Monkey. That's another thing like ManyChat. You've got MailChimp. That's an email marketing platform. You've got ConvertKit. That's another platform. There's a bunch of different platforms out there. And you got to think of also content repurposing systems. Are you repurposing content and how are you going about that? That in of itself can be an entirely different episode that we can kind of go into, but you need a funnel that's not going to kind of die out, and you need structure that's going to support your consistency. So really think about the efforts that you're taking on a daily basis, what you're spending most of your time doing, and the tools that you can implement into your business to help streamline and take off the load on your back that can be executed kind of for you behind the scenes. The third tool is one that I think that I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for myself here. But this third system, that we should have, not a tool, a system that we should have in place, I feel like a lot of people kind of overlook this. There's some people that are really good at this, and I'm just not one of them. But it's a daily method of operation, a DMO. What are you doing every single day in your business that are non-negotiables? Like, do you track it? Or do you wake up and go into your office and fly by the seat of your pants and whatever comes your way, that's kind of what you're executing? I mean, you have key goals and key things that you have to get done for the day, but are you really doing them? And at the end of the day, are you looking at your list like, oh, wow, I was productive. I got a lot of things done. Or are you looking at the end of your day like, oh, wow, I got a lot of things done, but nothing in which I really needed to get done. And I feel like I was doing more busy work than actually efficient and effective work for my business. Because I've been there. I have been there. So we've got to eliminate that decision fatigue that we kind of have when we go into business. And we need to look at task management, what is reoccurring, or what reoccurring rhythms, I guess you want to say, that we have in our business, and really sort out the role clarity that we have for the tasks in our business. CEOs don't operate from a to-do list. They lead from a system. Your system should be telling you what you're doing for the day based on triggers that the system has, activities that then lead into things triggering that the system has, and just the know-how and the workflows that you're working through in your business on an every single day basis. DMOs are so incredibly important, yet again, I feel this is really overlooked. The fourth system that I believe needs to be in place, which I touched on just a second ago, is content and asset management system. Yes, asset management. Do you know, and this might be you, but I'm not going to point at you and assume this is you who is listening right now, unless you're like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me, Whitney. But do you know how many women I have spoke to that they create content, they create so much content and they put so much time and effort into their content. And then when Instagram crashes or TikTok goes down or Facebook glitches out, they text me, email me, call me, freaking out because they've lost all of their content. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you lost it? Where'd it go? Well, the platform, like TikTok's shutting down. Instagram, is offline. Like, what do I do? How do I get it back? Or my account got hacked. How real is that these days? My account got hacked and I can't get any of my content. And I say to them, well, where's the platform that you store it all? What are you talking about, Winnie? That is the platform I store it all. And I just look at them like, well, that sucks. That sucks. Because if you are relying on the platforms in which you're posting to be the platforms in which you're storing your content, girlfriend, no. We need to change things up immediately. Doesn't matter. And by the way, when Facebook or Instagram or any of that crap says you can back up your content, it's not backed up in the way that you think it's backed up. It's code. It is source code. It is not the actual files, and it would take some time to get those the way that you want to get them. So we need to be storing content specifically that is evergreen, meaning can be recycled 3 months from now and still be relevant. So everything in your business should have a home. No more digging through Canva folders, Google Drive chaos, or freaking the heck out if a platform goes down. You want to have something that is organized, and organization isn't just a personality trait. It is a power move. Trust me. Trust me when I say that. And these are not cookie cutter systems. They are containers for your creativity frameworks that hold space for both strategy and spirit, and let's be real, some sanity. So how do you make your back end work for you? Outside of reaching out to me, asking for a call, and let me look at what you've got going on or lack thereof, and let's brainstorm. I will share with you how I can work with you and help you. But if anything, you are going to walk away, whether you decide to work with me or not, and understand a little bit more about what you can implement and what you can clean up and better streamline for your business. So you're not feeling crazy or like stressing yourself out trying to implement somebody else's stuff for your own business model that ultimately just is not working at the end of the day. So here's what you can do, okay? You can customize around your brand and your bandwidth, okay? You can consider your lifestyle. Are your systems serving your schedule, or are they stealing from it? And then what I love most is that you can reverse engineer your offers in delivery style. Like, you've got your offer, awesome. Reverse engineer it now. How do you get said person into said offer, and what does that process look like? Break it down backwards. And then prioritize scalability without complexity. Prioritize scalability without complexity. You can scale without it being so overly complex. And then last but not least, practice. I had a client recently that was using Google Workspace, which, mind you, is not bad at all. I love and use Google Workspace, but they were using Google Workspace, they were using Google Drive, they were using Google Docs, Google Workspace, Google Email, all of that stuff, and they were using notebooks. I asked this client when we were on a call one time for something, information about one of the clients or one of the prospects that she had recently. And she's like, hold on a second. I wrote it down. And she went to like this notebook and she's like, no, it's not in there. Hold on a second. She opened up another notebook and she's like, it's not in there. Give me a second. I might have put it in the notes on my phone. And she looks in her phone and I am sitting there, no joke, 3 minutes. Now, 3 minutes, you might be like, well, Whitney, it's not that long. It's a long time. Try talking for 3 minutes straight. It's a long time, okay? I stopped her and I said, blank, I'm not going to say her name, stop right here. And she looked up at me. We're on a Google Meet call, a video call. She looks up at me and she's like, yeah. And she's like, she's already frantic, right? She's already disheveled because she's going through all these notebooks. Now she's already scrolling on her phone, trying to find the notes app on her phone. And I said, hey, I said her name. I said, look at me for a second. She's like, yeah. And she with wide eyes. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I'm looking for that information. I'm like, why are you looking when it could have been 2 clicks and you could have been there? And she's like, I know. I know I need a system. We're going to get to that. But I said, there's no but. We've wasted 3 minutes trying to find something that should not be taking you this long to find. And obviously, we've all been here. We've all started here. So then we took, I think it was the next month because we worked together for 6 months. So we took the very next month and we basically transitioned everything over into ClickUp for her. A very basic ClickUp because ClickUp was a little overwhelming for her when she first got started, but we made it super basic. We got her set up. We got everything organized, not just for her business, but I think she really started geeking out when we got kind of everything organized and we made lists and folders for her personal family life, a list for her grocery shopping, a list for Christmas presents that she was going to be needing at the end of the year or wanting to shop for at the end of the year. We really went a little bit deep here. But she had a personal side of her backend system and then she had the business side of her backend system and it just worked for her. I cannot begin to tell you, I'm getting twisted in my words here. I cannot begin to tell you how many messages after getting her set up that she would send me on Telegram because that's where I communicate a lot with my clients. She would send me on Telegram and she would just be like, I added this to my list today and I set a due date. And guess what? It popped up today. I couldn't believe it. It reminded me. And I'm just like, yeah. I mean, something as simple and small as that, but it took the thinking away. Yes, you still have to take action in your business. Yes, you still have to set up the tools and the integrations in order for them to communicate and work the way that you want them to work for your business. But it's after that. It's what happens after that. She's just like, I no longer have to look for information because it's all right here. I remember the text where she came through. She's like, she realized that ClickUp had documents and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to use Google Docs and come over to I can have all of my documents in ClickUp. And I'm like, yeah. And then she realized ClickUp did the whiteboard. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to use, I don't even know what Google's version of maybe it is just called whiteboard, but whiteboards is over on Google. She's just like, it has it here. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I don't have to flip between platforms. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. You can. And there are some cases where you might flip between platforms. I use I use Flowdesk, and even though you can email from ClickUp, but it's not a mass emailing platform. But we got her set up. And my point is getting her set up and setting up her workflows and triggering automations. And then when people would comment on posts and they would go into ManyChat, we then had the integration into ClickUp, would feed ClickUp the information and give her a list of all the prospects that came here, qualified prospects that came in off of Instagram into her ManyChat, formed a list for her in ClickUp in the stage in which they were. Did they book a call or did they not book a call? Do we need to follow up with them to book a call if the call wasn't already booked? And did the email already go off for them to book a call if they didn't book immediately? There are so many little tedious things that can be tweaked so easily if the time and attention is just given to your backend that can simplify you in your business, in the way you work it, in the way you execute it, in the way you go about getting new clients and maintaining those clients and scale forward if you just integrate and set up the systems. And I get it. It can sound like a lot, but that is why you partner with somebody like myself or somebody else in the industry that knows how to do this and can just see it in a different way than maybe you can, that makes things so much easier. So ask yourself, what am I waiting for?